So, you probably weren't expecting these reviews to come back. That's right, the Zenkaiger reviews are back temporarily, or maybe this is a one-off, but this episode review of Zenkaiger is kind of a special one because it marked the appearance of Donbrother appearing in episode 42 of Zenkaiger. And to prep myself for this episode, I binged about 15 episodes of Zenkaiger, and it was a hard thing to sit through, a bit of a slow burn through, a lot of filler, which is what people complained about with Zenkaiger and what I complained about when watching it weekly. But when you sit down and watch Zenkaiger, the filler isn't that bad, because there was some really good filler that got a laugh out of me when I did sit down and binge watch Zenkaiger. So, without further ado, let's talk about episode 42 of Zenkaiger. So, episode 42 of Zenkaiger is a Juren-focused episode, and I love Juren. Juren's like the dad of the Zenkaigers, and he's an awesome character. He's one of the characters I've loved ever since he first appeared in episode 1, when he first shot that bad guy and he tried hanging out with the young crowd. Juren's been a standout character ever since I watched the show when it began, and having a Juren-focused episode where he was the one that had to try and save everyone while wacky hijinks ensued, it was a fun episode, because you got to see Juren just doing really wacky stuff like dancing to the theme song of the show, trying to wake everyone up and get them motivated. He was trying to shout at people and do all kinds of stuff to get them awake. It was a fun Juren-based episode. But I gotta talk about the Don Momotaro stuff, because that's what you guys are probably asking or wanting to know about. So, Don Momotaro showing up at near the end of the episode. It's mostly there to promote the toys that will be coming out later next month or in the next couple of months, because what you do get to see is the sword being shown off, the gear being shown off, the bike being shown off, and the brand new Zord combination being shown off. And I gotta say, I like the new Zord combination. I like seeing the bike in action, and the sword looks pretty cool as well. And we still don't know much of Don Momotaro, and they don't really give too much away about the character. The other characters just kind of write him off as either a veteran that they've never seen before, like powers that Kaido has never used before, or they just assume it was an illusion the whole time when the character was actually real. Now, I could be totally wrong about this, but I believe Don Momotaro appearing in Zenkaiger is the first time that a ranger for the next season has appeared in the TV show. I don't think they've ever done anything like this before. They might have, but I haven't seen a lot of Super Sentai series to see if they've done this before. I know they did it once in Kamen Rider X8 when I was watching that. They showed off Build for an episode or two, and then they showed him off again in the movie, but I don't know if they've ever done this with Super Sentai, because from what I remember, usually the next season, they'll show up in a Versus movie, and they'll sort of flex what their brand new powers are about and what their motif is going to be. But I don't think they've ever done this in the TV show before. Like I said, I could be wrong. I haven't seen a lot of Super Sentai, so correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, so let's talk about the Super Bike Enya Ride-On and the Don Zenkai O, which is the combination between the bike and Juren. So let's talk about the bike first. The bike, it looks pretty cool. I mean, we got to see it in action, we got to see what it looks like moving around in the show, and now there are more clearer images on the wiki and stuff like that with what it looks like. And I gotta say, I like the appearance of the bike. I like how it's got the gear and the wheel. It's a big two-wheeler bike. It's very Dark Knight Rises-esque with how it looks, that bike. But this bike design looks really cool, looks really sleek. Mostly CGI here and there, but the design stands out and is super unique. And how it combines with Juren to make the mech, well, I really like that mech design as well, because it's a mishmash, keeping in line with what we've had all season with Zenkaiger, combining with Juren, where it's got two different sides on each one. And I gotta say, I really like the mech design. It looks really sleek, really smooth, and I get the feeling we'll be seeing more of that next season from what I've heard, because this is going to be, or Donbrothers is going to be a sequel season to Zenkaiger, so Juren and Kaito will be sticking around for a little bit, I believe, and maybe 2 Kaiser as well, so I'm excited to see what exactly we'll be seeing when we have more of this mech around and seeing it more in action. But from what they showed off in this episode, I really liked it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about Zenkaiger episode 42. I mean, it was a wacky, silly episode with Jurin saving the day and everyone turning into cats when they were under the Kotatsus, however you pronounce it. And we got to see Donbrothers show off, or Don Momotaro show off for the first time in this episode. Mostly there to show off the next upcoming season and show off the new toys, but either way, it's some good cross-promotion synergy to show off the next season that's airing in the next couple of months, because I don't think there's a Zenkaiger movie coming out later, so this was a good way to promote it near the end of the show's run as we get closer and closer to the final arc. So it was a good way for the character to show up, do his thing, promote his stuff, and then leave, and that's exactly what he did. But overall, it was a wacky, silly episode. I enjoyed it. I like seeing the brand new Super Sentai hero showing up, and with that said, I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. As the credits start rolling, I'd like to thank the YouTube members and Patreon supporters for supporting the channel out. Swagger4 and Andrew McCoyle. Big special shout out to the Power Bunny, who is a $30 member. If you want to get your name in the credits of every video or shout it out, become a YouTube member or join the Patreon, because it helps out the channel in a more personal way in case YouTube eventually screws me over one day. You never know. But if you want to support the channel, I've got Patreon, I've got the YouTube members, if you want to support the channel that way in a more personal way. But what did you guys think of Donbrothers or Don Momotaro appearing in this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what did you think of episode 42 overall? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm bringing this video to a close. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.